in just a moment. I'm in like 17 SRL channels now, so I have to navigate to the new one where this race is happening. But it's going to be Jakazam versus OkamiOfGames. This could be a really good match.
Yeah, both fairly strong players. Okami has done a lot in Kuso. I don't think has played in an MT before. Nope, has not. Jakazam's a strong player.
Yeah, Jakazam won yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, oh, in Bleed.
Yeah, in
Yes.
bodily function.
Yeah, bodily function, the game. Yeah, well.
Anyone over a 50% win rate, I think, is
Bleed maybe
notable.
just one of the games that we've had in an MT. I guess we have a lot of normal, but that one's like very normal.
Eddie, you sound like you're in a different room suddenly.
Oh, that's weird. I'll drop and come back.
Alright. Like, right, it happened like 5 minutes ago or something. Suddenly it sounded like ID was on the other side of the room trying to talk to us.
Like he was reaching down to get something that fell or something, but wanted to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
It was just like,
That's
yeah,
so
no,
weird. I didn't move.
Jakazam's a really strong player. She's really. I don't know if that picked up.
It did, like, Jakazam's really strong.
Good.
I can't really do it because I have like a headset mic.
Yeah,
it
you'd have to
wouldn't.
like take it off and like move it away from
Yeah,
your face.
that's awkward. But yeah,
no, these racer
Jakazam.
cards are generated with Discord avatars. So we love people with high-res Discord avatars.
Yeah, one
Okami is pushing the limits.
Jakazam looks really good. Like high
Yeah.
quality, really good transparency too. Like no white edges or anything.
It
Looks
means
great.
so much to Maurice that he painstakingly remade Boney's avatar in HD just for the racer card.
Yeah, Boney was one of the worst ones. But looking at Okami, I don't know if I maybe wasted my time on the wrong person.
Okami Mundungu's got that really awful DK from
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Alright, and played matches, since we can do that now. Jakazam winning against Milnium in Kitchen Panic and the Whitley yesterday in Bleed. OkamiOfGames beating... Like, OkamiOfGames comes from Kuso, beating Brusensha.
In the first round, yeah. The team knockout.
And then Flannel Cat also from Kuso. And now Jakazam also from Kuso, kind of.
That's 2 puzzle games in a row. Interesting. Probably won't get another puzzle game. Might. I mean, but we've seen Okami win in puzzle games. I wonder what'll happen next.
Oh, Okami, I remember now. Okami did like the whole game in the time that it took the other racers to do the goal. And then we got we got the bunny lady at the end. I remember that.
Yeah,
right.
for Puznik, that was awesome.
Yeah. The reward
Too
for
hot
beating
Twitch.
the reward for beating the game is like the softest of porn.
Even calling it that would be a
You
massive.
could have just said
stretch.
soft core. I don't. You just had to.
Yeah.
Alright.
It is a picture of a woman. It's what happened. And there was a.
Mom, I'm
was
playing a
not
puzzle
soft.
game.
It was not soft in the arcade version. Wow.
Oh yeah.
What?
That's what I've
Imagine
heard.
you're in the arcade and you're playing this puzzle game and suddenly there's a naked lady and you're trying to like cover the screen or something so people don't ask you what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Your mom
But you-
doesn't come to find you after she gave you a quarter to, kill some time. You're hoping she doesn't come around.
Japan's a different world. They're proud of it. They say, "Look at the score I got. Look at my reward." It's a different sort of deal. Oh, what is this?
Jorf linked me something. I didn't actually click it recently. There's a sequel to Kix or Quix or what? QIX.
Yeah.
You draw a line while the wibbly wobbly sticks are moving around, and you try not to let it touch your line, and you try
Yeah.
to fill in the grid. There's a sequel to it on the Sharp 68,000, and it's got anime ladies on it. And I think as you draw the boxes, it fills in the picture of the lady.
You reveal them.
Yeah.
The we had a mahjong game in I think Giant Troopa, and we It was like Mahjong plus Breakout, and then we like you could make a valid Mahjong hand, but it never happened during the race. And then FFAO did it off screen and came into commentary. We're like, oh, what happened? And they said, oh, the girl removes a piece of clothing every time you make a Mahjong hand. So it didn't happen on stream. But we've played it before, apparently.
And then never again, I guess.
Yep, never again.
Too risky. Someone knows their mahjong.
Yeah,
It's a
channel.
It's a restriction.
You couldn't really control what you were getting because it was Breakout.
Restriction like motion sickness, color blindness, knows mahjong so well that the channel gets banned.
Yeah, that's a restriction. If this game is gonna get played, this is a classic.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, it's not.
I knew the one that just got redrawn. I don't have any idea what this is.
Yeah, I know the one that got redrawn too. It's funny.
Oh man, are we far enough in the tournament for this to get played?
Oh,
I
this
think we
looks
are
cool.
now. It is not early rounds anymore.
Yeah, this is winners 3. This
This is
is
winners 3, so a tough
serious
game
stuff.
is fair game.
Yeah, so we have sometimes we test a game and we think this is really good, but it's really hard. A new player would have a bad time with this. So we'll flag that as later rounds only, and it'll only be a valid draw for some of the later rounds in the tournament, which this is. So that's what happened here. There's also an early rounds only tag, where this game is very simple and straightforward, and two really strong players going head to head. They're gonna have very similar times, and the difference is gonna be some weird stuff, like someone menued a little faster or something, right? Stuff we don't want to decide the race. So we'll mark those for early rounds only, where it's more likely that two players of uneven skill get matched up, and that way we can still play a game that otherwise is totally fine, maybe really fun, stuff like that.
Yeah, and this TBC's coming in for commentary. This is good. My food got here. I'm gonna drop out. I played a little. I didn't finish the goal on this, and TPC did. I found it very, very difficult. I'll just say that.
This game is hard. This game's really hard. It was mildly fun.
It's tough. It's tough when it's really hard to also be fun. Oh, this one. This had like, you changed the goal even on this one. I
Yeah,
think,
we
right?
had to change the goal because I think it took me like an hour and 20 minutes.
A tight yet difficult die and retry platformer.
Yeah, it took me an hour and 24 minutes. Took FFAO an hour and 6 for the longer goal.
This game is warning. This game is very hard. I would recommend playing it if you are already comfortable with tough platformers. In brackets, this is harder than Super Meat Boy or Celeste, for example.
I disagree with that. Both of those games are much harder than this one.
Those like maybe to beat on the story mode or whatever, but the optional challenges in those games are like off the charts difficult.
Yeah, learn how to speedrun 106% in Super Meat Boy. This game is not harder than that.
That's just something someone puts on their thing so that someone clicks on the game. So, in a super tight, I assume, precision platformer, I probably give an edge to OkamiOfGames. We haven't seen them much around MT, but I don't know. That's just where my heart goes. It's not a very strong opinion I hold, I guess.
Yeah, both of those games are easy to beat, but like getting everything in them is really, really hard.
Please keep this in the pool so I can draw it.
Well, we'll have to see if controller works first. I did not play this on controller. Yeah, I can throw up a prediction. Hopefully it's not 10 channel points to like 3,000.
I don't think it should be. OkamiOfGames does really well over on Kuso, but Jakazam does pretty well at Kuso, has done well at Mystery Tournament, is sort of the proven track record.
Well, it was also that way for Arquebus versus Ridley Dragon. And Arquebus was the one with 10 points.
What? How did that happen?
Nobody bet. Freeball got like 3,000 channel points from it.
Weird. Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's weird that they publish the odds like while it's open. But I guess it makes sense for situations like that where the odds are clearly out of whack because someone just hasn't put money in at all.
Alright, somebody else is gonna have to close this because I'm putting it all in. Not all, but I put a lot. Somebody put like 100,000 in.
Whoa! Oh, I thought that was you. I thought it was like.
No, I put 10,000.
This is what you give a little bit of attention to the prediction, and suddenly the numbers go way up. We should do this more often. This is exciting now.
It says who is this? It's Internet Original.
Oh wow!
Oh.
But yeah, put
I
in
went to
all
get
your
some
points.
food.
I already put all my points in.
That's so many points. The points do not matter. Oh my! A huge bet on the other side for OkamiOfGames. This is by far the biggest, most invested match we've ever had.
Yeah, more points, more points. Do I see 250,000?
You can't even really do anything good with these points.
Yeah, the clearance. Apparently there was supposed to be a thing they do, but it's scratched, so now maybe there's gonna be something else they do. Doesn't matter, put them in this prediction. We're gonna bet some points.
The largest transfer of channel wealth in history. Yeah, specifically this channel, I think needs to be said. Oh my god, it just keeps going up.
Yeah,
I mean, we
some,
keep
like,
talking about it, so of course it keeps
esports
going up.
channels have had like people bet like 300,000 channel points at once.
Yeah, well, my favorite things to watch, it's Sajam, the fighting game commentator.
Oh, yeah.
He does a thing called Will It Kill? He's done it for a whole year now. And I think his Twitch channel is just Sajam, S-A-J-A-M.
It's just Sajam.
And at the end of the last Friday of every month, you can go and people submit clips where it's some fighting game and one player gets hit, and when they get hit, they are in mortal peril. Some combo is about to be done to them. It's going to be an optimal combo. It's going to go all the way through. It's not going to get dropped. Will it kill? Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just a pixel left. Sometimes it absolutely kills. It's always close. Everyone bets like millions of channel points are on the line. The games, sometimes it's like, this is Guilty Gear Strive, this is Street Fighter 5.
If it's Guilty Gear Strive, always bet that's gonna kill.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's like
if it's
Leffen
Axel.
or Apology Man or someone is the one getting comboed. But sometimes it's like, here's some weird Japanese freeware fighting game with like meters no one understands and has infinites and all kinds of jank and no one knows. It's really fun.
I'll give you all a hint if you watch that, because I bet you Sajam's gonna be doing it with BlazBlue soon. If Rachel is the one doing the combo, always bet it's gonna kill. That's my tip to you as a Rachel player.
Never gone in and caught it live. I always just watch the YouTube results.
On more points. We need to bet more points.
188k to 139k. The players are making sure that they're able to play with whatever thing they want to use that's comfortable to them, which I think is huge. I recently tried to play a platformer where I was using different buttons on my controller to jump and attack, and it ruined everything. I've had such a horrible time partly because of the game and partly because of, you know, me, but partly because of what I was doing with my controller. It's so important to use something you're comfortable with to play a game, especially when it's a really hard game. So the players are making sure that they get whatever they get to make sure they can do whatever they need to do.
Are the players even live for me? Why did they get a game? Usually we only give games once the players are live.
Jump the
think I
gun on
forgot
that one
this
a little
time.
bit. It is a little bit weird to be like, hey, go live with what? Nothing. Just
I
do
mean-
it.
I got this beautiful cornflower blue background, if there's no game.
I always played Meat Boy on keyboard. It felt wrong to me on controller. They always
can't
pop,
do
they always
anything
show
on
the pop
keyboard.
up at the start of the game that's like, we recommend you use controller. And every single time I said no.
Well, I
pinky's
mean-
gonna hurt, but I'll do it.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta hold down a button to run all the time. But like, if you play all the time on keyboard, then that's what you're used to. Then totally use what you're comfortable with.
I
Yeah,
played
I
I'm
all.
didn't
not
have a
comfortable with
USB
keyboard.
controller as a kid, so every single thing I played on emulator, I played on keyboard. So I'm just used to it. Played all the Kirby games on keyboard. I played Ocarina of Time on keyboard. I'm just used to it.
Any precision
Mario
platformer
64.
feels weird on a gamepad. For me, anything that's not my SNES controller, I feel like I am significantly worse.
Well, that's a problem when you need analog.
Yeah. Well, if it's an analog game, I would never use a SNES controller for that. So I've got like a different set of like muscle memory for whatever kind of game that is.
I played all of Super Meat Boy with a keyboard, but in MT I usually use a controller. It's just before I had a proper controller. So I can do both, but at this point I prefer a controller.
You're like ambidextrous.
I mean, the best game
There are
is mouse game
now-
anyway.
400,000 channel points.
Oh, what the hell? More points,
Up for
more
grabs.
points.
All right, here's the question: analog or D-pad? Usually,
D-pad,
if
of
you're
course.
playing. I'm ambidextrous actually.
Well,
When I play fighting games, I use both at the same time.
I mean,
And
there's
people think
a
that's
reason
really
to do it in fighting games because of like
No, there
Hadouken
isn't.
thing.
No, that makes it harder. Nobody does that. Like almost nobody plays with analog.
My brother
Everybody
played it on
uses D-pad.
on D.
Everyone uses D-pad, despite
Yes.
all of the like the joystick-like nature of an analog stick.
Yes,
Weird.
except me, and now I actually use both. For
Alright,
some
check it
input.
out. You have a video game.
All right.
Washout Spire.
Washout Spire. Whoa, those spikes are going through that guy.
Wow, he got washed out.
Yes, that will happen.
I don't know what June Flower 2021 is supposed to be.
The creator.
That's the author.
Okay. Because June is also a month, so
Whoa, fun fact.
so next to a year, like I was like, is flower a day?
I like the options. You can start or you can window size.
Can I lower the volume? No.
Yeah, this game, it's alright. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't really like how it controls a lot of the time. But it's certainly not bad.
Well, I feel like a platformer, especially a hard platformer, kind of lives and dies by how it feels to move the character around and how much control you feel like you have over them.
I don't like how it controls, but everybody else does. So I'm gonna chalk it up to me being wrong.
Okay. Oh, you move really fast, huh?
Yes, there's also not variable jump height.
What are those wall jumps? You're like wall teleporting.
Yeah, you move extremely fast, and that will be necessary.
Oh, we're buttoning through some really scary looking things here. This game's spooky. I don't like these wall jumps. That is janky.
Yeah, they're real fast. They try and use it for a lot of like really precise platforming stuff. You have to wall jump in this specific way at this specific point. They're
Both
really
players trying to wall jump low. Like they ride the wall and then they're like, oh shoot, if I jump down I'm gonna die. I'll ride it as low as I can. And then they hit the corner at ludicrous speed, bounce off the corner and die anyway. Same checkpoint for both players. Okami's I thought the first one passed it, but
There's also like almost no sound effects in this game, which really doesn't help that much. Just like almost none.
yeah. I'd like some of that feedback on jumps and stuff. Oh, and the camera can't even keep up with how fast you wall jump. Ooh.
No, that will happen sometimes.
It's kind of hard to look
there's
at.
One specific screen that I'm thinking of. The spike hitboxes are also massive, and so is your hitbox.
Oh, you got a double jump?
No, not by default.
Oh, okay. Okami hit one of these yellow Springo things.
Yeah, it's also the orbs. Trying to jump in the orbs is so unbelievably hard. Like, it really doesn't look like it, but the timing window is precisely when it's flashing white and no other time.
Wait, how do you know when it's gonna flash white? Are you like hitting a button to make it flash white, or?
No, it's when you're inside of it. But it's so tight. Like, it's so much tighter than it actually looks.
What? I mean, if it turns white when you get inside, what do you mean tight? Like, you get inside, it turns white?
Because it's not, like, your hitbox on it is very small. Whereas your hitbox on other things is way bigger than you would think. You'll, like, barely even touch the side of a spike, and you'll get hit by it. But this one, you gotta be right on point for it. There's, like, zero buffer on it.
Yeah, so not so much a window, but like a hitbox issue. I have seen Okami just go straight through it. And I wasn't sure if it was because he'd already touched it once. Yeah, okay, it is. You only get to touch it once.
No, these, you can do it infinite numbers of times.
Are you sure?
Yes, there are one-time use ones later. This last jump on the screen is in particular, it's so tight.
Jakazam is, I think, only technically one checkpoint back at this point, but it's a nasty checkpoint. You're gonna use the spring to save yourself. Oh, there's the checkpoint. But Okami is, yeah, onto the next one, so still a checkpoint ahead.
There's also a lot of points like this where you have to wall jump off a wall and then immediately do the double jump thing, and because it's a hitbox thing, like, the timing for it is even tighter because you're moving so fast.
So Okami is just flinging himself directly through the orb and it just doesn't go?
You have to double tap extremely fast.
Double tap what, when?
Jump.
When?
Push jump inside the orb to double jump.
Okay. Yeah, so you are hitting a button inside. Okay. Yeah, if this game is harder than Meat Boy or Celeste, it's like not in a good way.
No, it doesn't control nearly as well as those two.
So Jakazam is still like one checkpoint behind. It's just having trouble catching up, but it's keeping pace.
Here's these blocks. They're almost like the Meat Boy ones that kind of go away, except they don't go away over time. They are whenever you stop touching the whole set. There's also the one-time use double jump blocks. Anything that's pink in this game is one-time use.
And those were connected diagonally, so I guess they were like part of the same set. Kami's gotten rid of the bottom block, but no.
Yeah, you can't gain height on a wall by wall jumping. You can if you wall jump to a lower one, but it's like you need quite a few blocks to do it.
Oh, that's spring. Okay, but it has a checkpoint. I say you need to leave the orb for after you touch the wall. Oh, I think Jakazam's on a new checkpoint now.
Probably also the weirdest part is there's a lot of momentum conservation on the wall jump. So you can start to hold right after you wall jump, and like it's if you start holding left after that, then you'll go back up to full speed again.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's just so fast. Alright, nicely done by Okami. That's another checkpoint. Jakazam as well on another checkpoint.
Yeah, Okami is flying through this. To be fair, the first two levels are pretty easy. They're not bad. The third one is where it starts to get pretty unbelievably hard. And very long. The third level is also extremely long.
Precision platformer is extremely my jam, and I definitely would not call any of this easy. We got a level finished, I think.
Yeah, this is level 2 now.
The goal, weirdly, is to exit the 5th screen of stage 3.
Yeah, it's like halfway through.
Yeah, it makes sense to stop the race there, even if it's not a pretty goal.
Yeah, there was no simple way to make this an elegant goal name. I always try, and I fail a lot.
The game is so fast, it's like impossible to sight read anything you're seeing for the first time. That's something that always feels really good in a game like this, when you see some stuff for the first time and you're like, well, you just start hitting buttons and it all comes together. You feel like you're in, one with the Matrix or whatever, and I just feel like you're never going to get that in this game.
No, it never happens in this game. It's not like... I was gonna say Meat Boy, but that doesn't really happen in Meat Boy.
Oh, Okami, the pink. Oh, almost. That's a checkpoint for Jakazam. Immediately runs out of the spring. Okami gets it. Maintaining a lead of, I don't know, maybe 3 checkpoints or so at this point. Oh wow, it's just a mess of blocks and you... Whoa!
Yeah, this was a really hard one.
Yeah, you never want to have to wall jump to get past those blocks. Okay, yeah, I liked that. Take out the right 2 blocks.
If you didn't hit them in the right order, it was just so hard.
If you have to use a wall jump to get height, like it's gonna send you flying horizontally. Oh, needed to do something differently. What?
Use
Oh,
the-
it needs to
the orb.
land on the orb again. You can't come back down. Okay. Yeah, the audio is from... It should be from one of their streams. It doesn't have the icon.
It's from Jakazam's.
Okay. But there's just no sound effects in this game. Just background music. I guess you can kind of... This section that Okami's on, you can kind of just mash the jump button, I guess, to get a bunch of jumps off that yellow orb.
Yeah, you would think that, but the window for it is so tight that for matching for it, you're probably gonna miss it.
There are sound effects. Yeah, there's a little blip and a little tss, tss,
It's
tss.
tiny bits, but like, there's not one. Like, it's so quiet.
I didn't even hear it till Trinitronity pointed it out.
And it doesn't help you do anything in this game. Because they're all, like, really delayed, too.
Jakazam had a blocks, had to take a death. Jakazam having a lot of trouble with the early part of this checkpoint. Like, when I saw Okami stuck on this checkpoint, it wasn't the first half, it was the second half that they had to keep retrying, so if Jakazam's not even getting that far, this could be a long checkpoint. Ooh, nicely done by Okami. Where's the checkpoint? Needs to do more. Where is it?
Via the door. Yeah. there's the
Okay.
door. This is
is
level
level-
3 now.
Whoa, this could be a pretty short one. We get the 5th screen, so this is screen 1.
You need to start collecting all the coins, and that will unlock the door.
Got it. It is a tight wall jump, but that does look correct. All right. 3 discernment rooms. So is this the second screen then?
Yes, this is the second one.
Okay.
They have a screenshot just in case.
Tommy makes a conscious decision to get rid of every single block, and I can't help but feel like there's no way that's right.
You want to get rid of like the first 4. So this is also a real tricky part. You need to do like an extremely late double jump in this window off this purple orb, because otherwise you won't get back to the right block. It's a very awkward timing window.
Just to let yourself get the full jump height before you hit the button. And sure enough, Jakazam having a lot of trouble on this checkpoint still. Do you remember what the original goal was, TPC?
Beat level 3.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like, the 5th screen is maybe halfway through.
I do like this bass line, but it is getting a little bit old to just hear without much, I don't know, break or in it or something. It's really funky though. Just put some more melody on top of it, man.
Yeah, Okami's flying through this. I think I did level 2 in about... I put my time on the testing sheet, I think. I did it in 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, that could be a little short for pretty good players.
Yeah, I mean, Okami was done in like 10 minutes.
The end of this screen is also pretty hard. It also requires a very finicky wall jump to dodge the spikes.
So you're just grabbing the coin and like hard right onto the wall and then wall jump off?
You go to the wall first and you wall jump and it sets it up perfectly.
And it goes through the coin. Okay.
Yeah, but it's the last one. This is not the last one. It's right here. This wall jump is very tight. I don't even understand how I did it. It's like I tried going later, I tried going earlier. I was stuck on the screen for probably 15 minutes.
There it is. So this is screen 3.
Yep.
Ooh, is breaking
This
all
is
the
gonna
purple
cause a
orbs.
problem for later.
Yeah. Okami, I think, knew that must have been wrong. You could see the hesitation as soon as they landed. Ooh, Jack is like almost working on some kind of skip in this room. Let's see if she does this again. Yeah, look, she's okay. Once you hit that wall jump, you're gone. Oh, sees it, takes a moment to look at it, and first try on that ending segment for the checkpoint.
Homie's trying to do a really fancy wall jump on that side. You can actually just wall jump off the top block. Wall jump. You have to wall jump off the side of that block, the right side. And
So if you land on it and light it up, can you walk off the side of it and still wall jump? No?
Nope. The block disappears.
Ooh, that is nasty. But I think that's the last jump Okami needs to clear this screen. Experimenting with a different opener here. Try to leave more blocks or something.
Yeah, there's no other way to get to this top block, though. This is creative. This is using one less block than usual.
Is it a useful block?
No,
Not really.
Because you couldn't get on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, Jakazam almost second try to that ending part of that checkpoint.
Oh, that was real clean.
Oh, there it is. Gets the wall jump off the block. Screen 4. 2 more screens to go for OkamiOfGames.
This one's trivial. This one is like the easiest one. Now here's this one. This is the last screen of the goal. This one is in 2 halves, and you have to do both halves in 1 life.
So, like, it could have just been 2 different screens with a checkpoint in between, but they said no.
You gotta do them both in 1 life.
So gonna, like, check out
we
the
figured
other
to cut
side.
it here because this was like a climactic ending. Because everything after this is actually much easier than this screen.
Oh. Exiting the 5th screen, yeah, is the goal, not reaching. Beat this screen, dang. It must have been really like, they were like, oh god, this looks horrible, and then realized like, oh wait, no, I'm done, I don't have to do it, and then a moderator comes in and is like, no, you have to do it. Like, oh no.
We both suffered through this, both of us testers, so you can too.
The whole point is you're supposed to suffer so they don't. But I suppose there was always going to be some amount of suffering with a hard game.
I mean, a lot of people like this game. I'm gonna assume that I was just wrong about it.
Yeah, we put suffering in quotation marks here. Is that the moderator voice? I don't know. That's my yeah. Whenever I do any kind of voice with authority.
You know, that's gotta feel awful for Jakazam though, if she's even. I don't think she is reading race chat because of how her setup is. But seeing that your opponent is on the last screen of the goal.
That's true.
So this part's also real hard because you see a red gate. If there's red gates, you have to break every red. You have to use every one-time use thing.
Yeah, we saw that in screen 4. I was looking around for a key or something, but there wasn't. Okay, Okami knows how to do the right side. I think I've seen them do most of the left side. I don't think I've seen them cleanly finish it.
No, the left side is much harder than the right.
I like taking a moment to stall on one of the orbs. Oh, yellow done. Just needs to recreate the right side.
This isn't gonna work. Missed the block anyway, so it wasn't gonna work.
The purple orbs definitely. The blocks as well all need to go.
Everything needs to go. Yeah.
Wow.
So, like that spring too. Although there's no way to get up otherwise.
Oh, I'm wondering if you can get from the wall in the bottom right to the spring, or do you need that orb? Yeah, I think you need the orb. Okay, right side done. Back to the left side. This is tough. I feel like by the time Okami gets the left side, I've forgotten what the right side is and like how it all works, and I wonder if maybe it's the same for Okami.
See, you can't save yourself though, so it's like if you screw up, you're not just dead instantly.
Level 2 done for Jack. 4 screens back. I think
This would be
a
an
miracle,
impressive
but
comeback.
yeah. But it's not impossible. Whenever something is this hard, even if someone's close, it can sometimes be several minutes before everything comes into place. I think that's 2 right side clears in a row for Okami. So part of me thinks like start with the left side now that the right side is so solid, but then probably the left side not so solid when you are more tense and when you haven't done it multiple times in a row.
I always started with the left side every time because I quickly figure out, okay, this part's harder.
Yeah, that's pretty valid. Jakazam removes all of the blocks. I think that's probably not going to work.
I always remove the first 4 because then you can just drop down. You don't have to try and make a weird jump into place.
FFAO also started left for the same reason, because you thought it was harder and you wanted to get that done first.
Oh, there we go. That's a finish.
GG, 24 minutes, 12 seconds. A very, very strong performance.
Yeah, I was not keeping track of my time to this screen, but probably beat my time by about 20 minutes.
I would guess more than 20 minutes.
I was
just
thinking 20 or
mathing
30.
things
I
out.
got walled on the later screens of this for like way longer than this screen.
Okay, I thought you said the rest of it was pretty easy, which is what I was kind of going off of.
I would assume that would be easier for other people, but you're forgetting that I'm me. So everything's hard for me. But I'm assuming other people would find it much easier.
Okay. Oof. The wall jump just sending Jakazam directly into those spikes.
Well, I've got bad news, Simple Sarah. Is being matched with another Kuso Grande player. The only problem is that Kuso Grande player they're facing next is Andy. And this is Andy's wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's true. Andy's a lot more vulnerable over in Kuso, where sometimes games are so bad that they have moments of unfairness. All right, Jakazam, big jump. Oh, almost. Needs to leave some more blocks. Knows that now.
Well, hello.
So we're
Okami.
joined now. Yeah,
Hey, how's it going?
it's pretty good. Give me your. I want to know your first impressions. As soon as you jumped off your first wall in this game, what went through your mind?
When I jumped off the first wall, I'm like, this feels kind of like Celeste or Messenger, hence my comment in that. Particularly like Celeste is what came to mind. But then I got to like the section with the clouds, like, I'll call it the cloud step because that's what it's referred to in Messenger. Where it's like, it's the orbs where when you're over them, if you hit the button, you jump again. So it kind of just felt like a fight between those, and I'm like, I like both Celeste and Messenger. I'm all for this. The window though to hit those orbs to get the jump is really small, especially when you're trying to hit it after doing a wall jump and going at high speeds. Like there is not much room for error.
Yeah, I don't. I can't count frames or anything, but couldn't be more than 3 frames. I think likely less.
Yeah, like I would have probably not died as much if the window was made just a tiny bit larger. That was like my biggest, I guess, complaint with it. I air quote complaint because like that's definitely something that people could be into, having to do it really, really precise. But it ended up resulting in a lot of deaths because a lot of the time I'd hit it too early or too late and I wouldn't hit the thing. Sometimes it led to the point of I just mash it and hope and pray that I hit it.
Jakazam's on the final wall jump. Realizes that it's tight, I think. So she's first try.
Nice.
She scouted it out.
Was so hard.
That was the first screen of level 3 she just finished, where there was some blocks you had to.
Screen.
I'm gonna pull up the stream for myself and just take a watch.
Yeah, she's also destroying this game. You blew through the tester times, which included me.
Yay! Yeah, this was a fun game. Like I'm when I signed up for MT, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the moment where I just get bombed with freeware. And this was my first freeware game in proper MT. I think I got a freeware puzzle game in Reject. But this felt like the MT experience. That and puzzle games, which I've gotten 2 of those so far.
Yeah, we were looking at your race history. And I don't know, Kuso doesn't really do a lot of puzzle games over there. If they do, they're like drop puzzlers and they're they're bad.
Puzzle games aren't the thing that I had to get used to over here. What I had to get used to over here is that the games are fair.
Yeah. We do. TPC and I are both testers, and that's something we look for. It's virtually
Oh, that's a
impossible.
different solution for Jax. That's so smart. You leave the
was really
first
good.
block. Then you don't
That
have
was-
to do that stupid wall jump. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Very
No,
smooth
I
finish.
think that's something different than what I did.
I feel so dumb for not finding that now.
Anyway, yeah, making games fair is very difficult. Part of what we did to try to make this, I don't know if fair, but more appealing, because you both did extremely well. This could have been a bad time. Those windows on those jumps, I think, could have been a bad time for someone who just wasn't quite at the skill level you guys were at.
That last level gave me so many problems because like I understood what exactly I had to do in it. It's just long, and I had so many instances where it's like I hit the first clouds, or like I hit the second cloud step on the left side, the second orb, and then I missed the third one and had to bounce off the second one and try again, and I just kind of kept juggling myself in that, and it rarely worked out in my favor, but as long as there was hope.
Like, on the one hand, it's like, oh, you get to try again, but on the other, like, I'm sure there's this like mounting sense of tension that is like a string is being pulled tighter and tighter, and it's bound to snap at any moment.
Yeah, it's like, especially after I did the false dot done, because like I was looking at the pace and I'm like, okay, keep an eye out for this, but no, I misread the pace, and it's beat the stage that is listed here, not reach the stage. But then I started getting progressively more and more mad because I kept dying on this stage. And I'm like, just beat this stage so I can dot done.
I can imagine. So apparently they might get a little bit easier after this section. This is like the big kind of moment of the stage.
Well, makes for a fitting last stage then for the goal.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Yeah, it used to be longer. It used to be the entirety of level 3.
How much more would there have been of level 3 anyway after this?
I want to say this is like the halfway point.
Yeah. I wonder if Jakazam's going to try to do the same thing I did in this stage, which is learn one side, and then once you start to get the feel for what's going on there, yeah, it looks like she's doing exactly that. Once you get the feel for one side, start learning the other side, and then go from there. Probably tackle the side that you think is more difficult first, which I thought the right side was a bit harder.
Oh, that's interesting, because we were talking about that exact thing, except both FFA and TPC agreed the left side was more difficult, so that's what they were doing.
I thought the right side was a bit harder because there's so many easy scripts. Because like the problem with the right side is there's not like any room for error because everything's disappearing. If you make one wrong step, there's no recovering from it. On the left side, the orbs that are over there, they at least stay there forever. So if you mess up a jump, you might be able to catch yourself on a lower one and try again. Whereas this one, it's one shot, one go, don't mess it up. So that was my line of thinking in deciding which one to tackle first in my runs, where I try to actually beat the stage.
So we've seen her do the left side. We've seen her get one jump away from finishing the right side.
I mean, as long as she has the idea of like what you need to do in it, then I'd say that's good enough. Especially when you're trying to go fast.
Yeah, her problem is that on the bottom on the spring, she's kind of hesitating before she hits it. If you just hold left, you'll make it.
I guess I'm having a hard time hitting the orb. I know that feeling.
Yeah, I did not like how this game controls that much, especially with the orb hitboxes. Apparently, according to somebody in chat, they were actually made bigger in a patch.
What?
And so they're bigger now.
Excuse me?
Oh man.
They're already pretty small. When they're big, what? Okay.
Yeah, or I mean, like in any other game, they're quite big, but at the speed you come off of walls in this game,
yeah. Like, I think if it wasn't for like the high speed that you go with the walls, the hitbox they're at right now would be good. Like for just general like platforming at like your regular walking speed, I think the hitbox they're at is pretty fine. It's just when you're going off the walls that it's a problem.
Yeah, and so often they have you do this wall jump into an orb thing. Like it just loves doing that. And it seems like the kind of thing that I would exactly want to like avoid having the players do, precisely because you're moving so fast. You're literally like you can see how far you move every frame, and it's like a full orb distance.
Yeah.
It's got to be like frame perfect.
It's I don't think it's quite that tight, but as I tell everybody who's getting into fighting games who looks at all these hard links, frame window does not equate with difficulty. There are easy 1-frame tricks out there, and there are hard tricks that have like 8-frame windows. So even if it's not that tight, it's still just really hard. People don't believe me when I say stuff like that, but I assure you it's true.
So what's something that would contribute to the difficulty or ease of a frame window that's not the window itself?
Simple visual cue,
Like a big wind up on a punch or
yeah, proximity to other inputs. That's a big one.
oh, like if you've got a moment to just look at it and hit the button as opposed
No,
to
I think
like
the opposite. If it's like you have like a long period between a button press and like, oh, I have to wait 17 frames on this as opposed to I have to wait 4. If it's 4, like, it's pretty close to another input.
I guess it depends what kind of cue you have.
I
'Cause
see
you're-
somebody
if
saying
you're-
rhythm helps a lot and in chat, and I can definitely see that. Like, having played a bunch of rhythm games where it's like you have to have really tight timing.
Yeah, a lot of the time the orb seems to be positioned the exact same distance away from the wall. So like, did you find you had some kind of muscle memory built up for like wall jump orb, like rolling one to the other?
I kind of just gotten like depend on the distance between the wall, because some of these orbs are like slightly differences, for example. But a lot of the time it was like just do a double tap, like I'm trying to double jump in like some other game. And sometimes I'd hit it, sometimes I wouldn't. I just hope and pray.
Oh, Jakazam is trying to save herself after getting most of the coins. Just-
This last one, you cannot do this way. I tried wall jumping from like the very bottom of the right wall on this, and I assure you, it does
Right.
not work.
I saw Jakazam wall jump off the right wall.
Well, it does work.
Yeah, she literally
Okay.
did it already.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just
I'm sorry, I'm
very
not
tight to
psychic,
do.
Maurice.
Like it's tight enough to the point where like I would rather just do a full lap again of it.
Right.
I
So
wonder if
you,
Jakazam's feeling the same levels of frustration I did in this stage, knowing it's the last stage and it's just kicking your ass.
yeah, I also think about this. When's the last time she went to the right side of the stage? Right, like
Yeah, so like by the
that's
time
not
she
going to
gets
be
a
fresh.
Like, yeah, by the time she gets a successful run at this side, how well is she going to be able to handle the right side? And then you're going to realize, oh, my memory of this side isn't fresh enough. I guess I need to go back to the other side and get it fresh in my memory again.
So you play a lot of, bad games over at Kuso. And then you joined Reject Tournament, which sometimes those are good games that just make for bad races, and that's why they get rejected. But sometimes they're bad games. This was, I don't know if this was it depends on what kind of person you are, but it seems like at least a well put together game. Do you play a lot of good games in your off time?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like Celeste, I like Messenger, I also like Meat Boy, which this feels at least a little bit like, so I do play
Good games.
good games. I'm just known for bad games, unfortunately.
Is it any different playing something like this in a more competitive setting like this, or is it just like totally natural like you've done in other places?
Well, knowing that the game's going to be a bit more fair than Kuso. Like in Kuso, I think you have to do a little bit more of stop and look at the situation and try different things. Here, a lot of the stuff that you need to know is laid out for you, be it through the game showing you or through the pace spin, so it's just go, go, go. But Kusa, they give you like no information, so unless you're lucky. But generally they don't give you any information, so you have to figure everything out on your own, and the same goes for your opponent. So it's like you just have to sometimes take things slow over there. So
All right, left
similar
side.
but minor differences.
Left side clear. So, is that something that you enjoy about Kuso? Of like, like there are some people who think like there's too much information in the pace spins we give, and players should have to figure some stuff out, and or some people feel like there's not enough, and that we should tell the players everything. Like, do you like having to sort of figure stuff out?
Depends on the game, really. Sometimes there's like really obtuse stuff that it's like, I really wish this was like informed of us ahead of time, but you kind of come to expect that in Kuso. Like one example I can think of in one of my recent matches over in Kuso was a run and gun shooter, but it never said that one of the controls would be to angle your shot upward at an angle. But in order, the command to do that is to hold down and right to angle your gun up.
Nice.
Because why wouldn't it be? Well, also in part because it was an up to jump game. So if it was up
Wait,
and
okay.
right, you would have oftentimes found yourself accidentally jumping and whoops, you're dead.
Yeah, we had a game called Gunner's Heaven where the paceman didn't say that you could hold one of the trigger buttons to lock yourself in place and shoot at an angle. And it was like 30 or 40 minutes into testing where one of us was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think in another match, we like the players while we were testing our controls, and we literally found out like 15 minutes before we started the race that there's a save function in the game, and not even the person who gave out the game knew that.
Yeah, that happens too. We've had games where the submitter didn't even know about some pretty wild and important stuff that got uncovered. So Jakazam has finished the left side and then taken a crack at the right side on, I think, 3 occasions now. And when she comes back to the right side, because when she fails it, she realizes, like, I don't know the right side very well anymore. So she starts doing it until she gets it, and she usually gets it pretty quick.
The other reason why I think I gravitated towards doing the right side first as opposed to the left side is, and maybe I'm just crazy for thinking this, but I feel like the right side goes by a bit faster. So then it's just like the one attempt where I get the left side, I can successfully, I can just like go to the end, boom, be done with it.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong, and I think that's a fair way to go about it because you are getting more attempts in faster in a way.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you feel like you need practice on the left side, I think Jakazam's starting to get to the point where she does.
She's starting to get to the point where she finishes the whole dang thing.
Did she do it? Nice.
There it is. Got done. 43 minutes, 21 seconds. A large portion of that being that last screen. That was a monster.
Yeah.
Still a good time.
Yeah, this was right around where the testers were.
Pretty good then.
We get to see. She's going to keep going, play a little bit.
The end of this level is so funny. It's just like nothing. Like, it's not precision platforming at all. You're just going. There's like no obstacles anywhere. It's just so weird.
I thought about continuing with the game, but I had to like de-stress a little bit after that last screen.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
You want to try to get Jakazam in for commentary? This stage looks significantly easier than the last one. Unless what's expected of you to... Oh no, because you have to get rid of all of them. All the disappearing stuff. As well as getting the keys. Okay, I see. Ooh, that's... I think you might have to go like back and forth then, potentially.
Yeah, there is a little bit of like routing to figure out in some of these. It gives you some resources that you need to use to get across a room and back, and you got to figure out how to portion them. Okay, here comes Jakazam. We've pulled her in. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jakazam.
Good game.
That was a tough game. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Okami. What went through your head the first time you jumped off a wall in this game?
I don't remember what went through my head the first time. The first time I think I thought, wow, this is fun, I'm going fast. But
And then like the fifth or sixth time.
when I realized that your forward momentum continues even after you've changed direction, I stopped liking it.
Yeah, TPC mentioned that. It's almost like
it
Smash
doesn't-
Brothers or something when you get hit really hard and you hold towards the stage.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, you could actually fully change direction to go back the way you came from, and then if you release the D-pad at that point, the previous momentum picks up again and you start going the opposite direction again.
Doesn't sound good.
No. And that last level was mean.
That
Like,
could have been two separate levels.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be nice. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get one side, it's gonna open that door, and it's gonna stay open. Deep down inside, I knew that wasn't going to be the case, but I was really, really hoping.
So talk to me about your approach, I guess. Like, which side you did when. Because we were guessing at why you were doing each thing. I think I know, but I'd like to know for sure.
Okay, so at first I was doing the left side just because I was left.
Heck yeah.
After that, like, I started to get comfortable with that. I was like, okay, let me go figure out the right side now. So I went over to the right side, started figuring that out. That one seemed easier, so I was like, alright, I think I got a handle on the right side now, where I think I could do it if I get the left side. So then I went back to the left side, tried that a bunch, hated it. I don't even... The little jump circle things are way too precise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know a fun fact? Apparently, this game got patched and they're 1 pixel bigger now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So apparently they were smaller before.
It needs to be bigger. It needs to be something where, like, it shouldn't feel like you hit the button when you were on the jump circle and then it not jump. They definitely need to make that bigger. Of course, the game will be easier then, and then they can't. As I see in the comments, Saiho saying about them bragging about how hard their game is. They can't. They can't brag about it if they make it better.
Saiho did not seem to be a fan of this game.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan. I'm not. I mean, the moment the game was pulled and I saw what kind of the game it was, I knew I had zero chance of winning this one. If I recall correctly, you're pretty good at platformers, right?
Yeah, I've had some experience in them. I wasn't sure what your experience was going to be like with platformers.
Oh, not the best. I was hoping for a puzzle game to maybe have a chance, but
Hey, I wouldn't mind. That would have meant I got 3 puzzle games so far.
I want people to get a variety, so I would not have wanted Okami to come in on the first official mystery tournament and draw 3 puzzle games.
You just gave me Puzzle and Freeware, second best thing.
I mean, you're not going to see much puzzle in Kusao, so it is variety.
That is true. Unless
That
you're
is-
playing Pyramid.
Yeah. Well, I played that at HDQ Live because...
Was it
I
fun?
was made... No, it wasn't.
I actually enjoyed that game.
I love Pyramid.
I
so
enjoyed
stupid.
it, but it was something. Well, hey, speaking of Kusa Grande players, your streak continues, Okami, because
Yeah.
you move on to fight yet a 4th Kusa Grande player. The only problem
Yeah.
is this Kusa Grande player is Andy. So
Yeah.
This is
About
his
that.
wheelhouse, but who knows? Maybe you can complete the invasion and take him out.
Man, I thought I was gonna come here and hang out with new people and get to play against the new people. I'll just play against people I know from Kuso.
Jakazam, I would look to see who's fighting, but you're not going to be fighting somebody for a long time. Oh, actually, it's not that long. You fight the winner of Soul Devour versus the winner of Xelnas versus Bun. That's not that
Alright.
long.
No, it's not too long, hopefully.
One
Your
of those
round
three.
deadline's in like a month, so.
You got time. There's a reason
Yeah.
why when I scheduled our match, my comment for the match was, "You got to fight for your right to get destroyed by Andy." And I have a
gotta
feeling
fight.
that's what's gonna happen whenever we schedule something.
Well,
But who knows?
good luck in that match.
I'm gonna need all the luck I can
Definitely
get.
won't be an easy one.
Good luck to both of you in your next matches. I think you both played well in a really tough game, and thanks so much for coming to talk to us.
I'll see you all
Thanks for
later.
having us.